Hey guys, what's up? Ian here from Mid-America Prep. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Another quick update for the 2019 garden season, or as I said in the video the other day, the Yarden. I did not say it on purpose, but somebody pointed it out, the Yarden. Anyways, so I've added a couple of things since the last garden video, and here's one of the things here. I've got 4 of these posts. These are electric fence posts, so you can remove your fencing, your electrical fence quick and easy. This one is just a plastic insulated up here. They do have them that are fiberglass and steel rods for the same purpose. They're like $2 a piece. The reason why I have these is to drape my hose, primarily because I do have my hose out here to the garden 24 hours a day, and in the summertime, obviously, if you do that, you get these burn marks with the hose. See that there? And I actually need like 2 more of these. I have 4 of them, but the main reason is just so I could drape it and it's not touching the ground and leaving a giant burn line. It's like this right here, my hammock stand. It's just not coming back, but I had it flat over right there in that area for about a week while I was on vacation, and that stuff burnt the cross, the bottom piece here. It burnt that in the ground, and so the grass is finally coming back. So anyways, I've added 4 of these, and they've worked pretty well. They don't cut the water flow off or anything. It's a fairly low water system, my watering system down there, which I think I showed you, but I'll show you again. But I do have a timer, an inline timer with it, and it waters for 15 minutes at 6 o'clock in the evening, and then in the morning around 7 o'clock it does for 5 minutes. It's a pretty cool little timer. It works pretty well. And then I have a manual set, and then a thing I can do a rain delay on it, and that will shut it off. I have to hit it manually, but it does delay the usage of it because we've been getting a lot of rain here in Kansas. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you what the garden looks like right now. It is a month and a couple of days after the last video update. Alright, so here it is. It is going pretty strong. If you remember from the last video on the garden update, I was talking about the lasagna style gardening. I need to get some more straw out here because you see all this greenery in here. That is not what I want in here, and it's a pain in the butt to try to weed that. I have tried to mow it, and it's just a pain to keep up with it. So I need to get more straw bales, but unfortunately right now, all the local retailers, farm and home stores, they are out of straw. So I'm looking for a farmer that might have some for very cheap. And anyways, so what I've got is, I think last time the asparagus wasn't going crazy yet, but it is like I said, about 4 foot tall at places. This one's like 4.5 foot tall. Almost, yeah, 4.5 foot tall right there. My shoulder's 5 foot almost. Just depends when it's stretched out. Like I said, I'm not going to be picking that by any means because it needs to get the good roots on there for the asparagus. But the onions, I've been cutting them, pulling them. They have been flowering out. These are pretty stiff. I need to go ahead and pull them and let them dry for some dry white onions. But that'll come in time. Of course, the dill is just growing like crazy, and you see the little tiny bees right there. I don't know if you can see that. It's right there. Oh yeah, cool. They're flowering out a little bit. That's not bad. These can flower out, and you can keep them that way, I believe. I have never actually pulled dill flowers off. I've heard that you can dry them out and use them. But anyways, the dill is huge. It's probably the biggest dill plant I've ever had this early by any means. Pretty cool. And then onions and flowers there. I had just a little flower bed to attract the bees, but I went ahead and put some onions in there to help with the usage of onions. So there's a yellow onion bed and a yellow onion bed there, and these are white onions. 3 pepper plants here. Those 3 pepper plants, those are about 10, 12 inches tall in places, depends which one you're looking at. Of course, my Brussel sprouts are doing pretty good. They are starting to sprout out some Brussels sprouts, which is nice. another little random flower garden. This is actually, like I said in my last video, a random packet of flower seeds, and so you just spread them on the ground. I did 2 rows, and I tried to separate them. I thought I had like a 2-foot row here, and it seems like nothing grew out here. It's just all in one little bunch. But those are some pretty cool little flowers. It'll bring some nice variation of color into the garden. I've got I don't even know what these were now. Some flowers in between each of my tomato plants. Oh yeah, marigolds. Planted those by seed in the ground directly in March. And then I've got beefsteak tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, and then cherry tomatoes. And I've been trying to keep up with the weeding of the larger weeds. These things are just moisture suckers. But it's hard at times to keep up with stuff. And I'll keep on it. My wife is pretty good coming out here and helping me out. But we've had so much moisture in the last couple of weeks that it's impossible to keep up with it in the end. Anyways, I've got zucchini, spaghetti squash. This was a couple of spaghetti squash plants I just put in there. I planted 4 seeds. 2 of them picked up, and I thank God that the rest of them didn't grow, because this thing is going to overproduce, and I'm going to have to be giving that stuff away. But I do have a hog panel between 2 T-posts. I did not have those before, but I put a hog panel in there to support that. And of course I have my archways to support the other stuff here. I know these aren't viney plants. These are yellow squash and zucchini. They don't flower, or they don't vine out, but it does help kind of contain them inside. Of course, my large sunflower plants, and mind you, I'm 6 foot tall, and you are currently at head level, so these are around 5'8", 5'9". Look at these stalks. Those things are just huge. These are these grow to be about 12 to 15 foot tall, and they have like an 18-inch flower head on them. And I had a couple of late bloomers down here. Actually, I cut this one off on accident, and then a couple of late bloomers on the inside of there that are growing pretty well. They'll get there. They're only pencil thick, maybe as thick as my pinky. We got some weeding to do in here, but these are my cucumbers. I'm actually going to do another little run of the hog panel fencing right here just to keep it going up. But I also have trained them a little bit to come up this, and they'll hopefully come up and over and drape down. My green beans are doing amazing. Nice and thick bushes. They are, of course, growing green beans. That's pretty neat, right? There we go. All kinds of green beans on there. I'll probably pick the first round in a week and a half, just because you keep your fruits coming off, and it will continue to give. And those are the same variations of green beans, nothing crazy there. And then we can come over here to the fruits. These 4 pots here, I told you in the last video that I had some volunteer tomato plants. These are cherry tomato plants. You can tell by these smaller leaves, and because I just remember planting them, or the plants that were there to volunteer from. But they are doing great. I have these cages ready to go whenever they're ready to go. And then over here I have my fruit garden, my fruit bushes. I've got grapes, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, and these are pink blueberries, which I have a couple more cages that I need to put up around these just to keep them going. But I did make this nice little trellis, and I'm hoping that the grapes will start taking to this trellis. I have another YouTube channel called The Amateur Craftsman, and I'm going to start doing some of these little small projects that you guys can do, DIY stuff, save you guys some money, whether you buy the material or not, or you use stuff around your house. I'll be kind of showing you that kind of stuff. But yeah, this little trellis cost me nothing, mainly because I already had the material. It is cedar, but I just ripped it down and stapled it together, and it worked pretty well. And then of course my watering system here. It's just 1-inch PVC, and it comes down to the adapter, and then the hose runs up and around all the way up there. So I haven't had to use my watering tanks yet because we've had so much moisture, and the city municipal water is fine enough for this. I do use it for the small plants around, but looking pretty good so far. Let's talk about the Brussels sprouts here. This is something that I did a long time ago. I learned about a while back, but anyways, this is my 3rd year having Brussels sprouts. Like I said in the last video, I only had 4 plants to last 2 years, and this year I've got 8, 4 on each side, so I'm trying to say there. But something I read and I was told by multiple people was, with Brussels sprout plants, to take and remove the lower leaves, because the lower leaves, obviously they're just soaking up, what they're doing is soaking up all the energy and when planting. And so what you do is you come in here, hopefully this will focus, if it doesn't I apologize. You just come in here and you trim the lowest off, and in doing so you expose the sunlight to the Brussels sprout itself. Hopefully it'll focus here. And then you start getting nice green Brussels sprouts much easier and quicker. It allows that nutrient to go right to that rather than the leaves. Now these leaves, which we did this last night, we picked some of these off and chopped them up, fried them in some olive oil, some salt and pepper, some garlic, and red pepper flake. And they're just like collard greens, a little bit tougher, but if you cook them right and add a little bit of butter in there to add some sweetness, those things are tasty. Alright, so one more thing I'd like to show you on the update here is this quick and easy little Cedar Bee House. Literally all I did was take a piece of cedar board, made a little roof for it, and drilled some holes into it. And what I've done here is made a little habitat for wood bees. And although wood bees are not great for obviously honey, because they don't make honey, they are great for pollinating. They are great pollinators, and as you can see there's actually a little bit of some occupied rooms. You see that one right there is occupied, and these up here are occupied also. What they do is they get their leaves and whatever, and then they build behind it. They sleep in there and they pull all the stuff in there. It's kind of a weird concept, but these kind of move in and out every single day, it seems like. You can see this bee right here. Hopefully you can. My screen's a little dark, but it's a cool little concept. And a fun little fact here that I've just now found out, actually, speaking with my city commissioners, is that beekeeping in the town in which I live in is illegal without special permits and signage. You have to get permission from the city commission. You can only have, I think it's 4 hives. You have to be within 40 feet of a dwelling, within a 40-foot radius of a sidewalk, school, medical facility, which 40-50 feet is not far, but to be 100% honest, I don't have a complete radius to do so. And so they literally take into account of everything. So your neighbor's fence, if it's 35 feet away from the house or from the beehive, you can't have that beehive. They come out and inspect everything, and it's quite interesting. I think they've got some amendments coming to it, so they can change some things. But there have not been very many applications approved by my local city commission since 1960s. The law was put in 1968, and there's only been a handful of people who have been approved to have beehives within the city limits, which is outrageous. They are extremely important to have for our our well-being, extremely good for our habitat, obviously, because if the bees are gone, our food is gone. They help pollinate. I mean, the hell, I even made a movie about it called Bee Movie. Come on, guys. That was a great movie. Anyways, this is just a quick update watching the honeybees and the bumblebees come through here is really cool. Thanks for fixing up my garden, making it pretty. That's why I gave you guys the flowers to look at and everything. But anyways, keep calm and carrying on, guys. Stay safe. Get out there and garden. See you later.